Zaza, gas station dope, gas station heroin. What is it? Where is it being sold? Let's go. What's up, everyone? Kyle Ruggeri, the Soberdog, coming at you. Glad to be back posting. Soberdogs, we post information about addiction, recovery, the nitty-gritty, prison, everything in between. Before I get started, Soberdogs does not promote or condone any drug use. Please seek professional medical help if you have an addiction. All these videos are for entertainment, informational, and educational purposes only. All right, let's get into it. Zaza, gas station dope. Heard a lot about this. Different people in different states using it. Some people to get off dope, some people to substitute it, some people as a whole new addiction. What is it? Zaza, other names for it, TTA, Tia, Tiana. As I said before, gas station dope, gas station heroin. The main ingredient is it is something called tineptine. Tineptine is a tricyclic antidepressant that boosts the production of serotonin and dopamine. Both of those are chemicals that have a lot to do with happiness, feeling good. Dopamine has to do with goals and drive. Serotonin, SSRIs, antidepressants are selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. So they boost those chemicals, and also norepinephrine. That's another class of antidepressants in this country, SNRI, selective serotonin norepinephrine reuptake inhibitor. So tineptine, the main ingredient in Zaza or gas station dope, is like an antidepressant, boosts those chemicals. People found out that they could take large amounts of these and get a similar effect to heroin. Another thing tineptine does, and another thing that the chemicals, whatever else they're being mixed into this does, is it hits the opioid receptors. So somebody somewhere, of course, on the bottle it says take 1 to 2. Somebody somewhere took 4 or 5 or 6 and got a big boost, a big happiness effect, and also realized, wow, this feels a lot like opioids. Then it started to spread and spread and spread. And then it was considered gas station dope. So the effect produced from it is apparently very similar to painkillers, opioids, Oxycontin, Percocet, and straight up heroin. I believe I took this once. I'm not positive. I'll tell you about that in a second. So why is this so popular? Basically, people are trying to get off heroin, get off Oxy. The opioid epidemic is terrible. So someone goes into a gas station and takes this stuff and realizes, wow, it actually gives me a similar effect, and it's legal. It's being sold right in a gas station, so it can't be that bad. And that spread. And people are also, when it first came out, realized people that didn't necessarily want to quit opioids, but they realized, oh, I could buy this stuff at the gas station for cheap and get the same effect as my Oxy. So it's a cheaper high. So for these reasons, it boosted up and, spread. And also because it was completely legal. So any store, any gas station could sell it. Similar, this is kind of like Kratom a little bit. Kratom hits the opioid receptors, gives people a similar opioid high. They use it and either try to get off heroin or Oxycontin, or they use it, just as another form of a high. But like Kratom, like this, like heroin, like Oxy, there's effects, nasty effects, and people get hooked and build a tolerance. So with gas station dope, Zaza, in the beginning you could take 2-3 pills and get, apparently an effect like Oxycontin, where you get 8 to 10 hours, 10 to 12 hours. Users report feeling happiness and energy all day. And I remember the first couple times I took Oxy or, any opioid like that in the beginning, it is not that drool down out. It is a boost up effect. So then, like every other drug, tolerance builds. So you start needing 4 pills, then 6, then 8, then 10, then 12. People reported taking whole bottles, which are 15 pills. And of course, like everything else too, the effect gets less and less and less and less. So on day 1, somebody can take 2 pills, 3 pills, and have a 10-hour high or effect. And on day 60, they need 15 pills for just a 4-hour effect. It can boost up very quickly and very dangerous. It could be very dangerous. What are those main dangers of Zaza? Same as everything else, tolerance builds. We don't know what else is being mixed into the capsules. We know tineptine is a main ingredient in it, but we don't know what else is in it. What happens a lot of times, these companies pop up. It's an overseas company, it's a supplement or vitamin company. They don't have to put the ingredients on the back because it's a proprietary blend and it's not FDA approved. And they'll pop up, they realize something's popular, they sell a ton of them, and then as soon as the government catches on and starts asking questions, they just shut the company down, open up under a different LLC in a different country. This happens all the time with supplement companies and vitamin companies, but right now this is still legal. So tineptine is not approved for any FDA uses in America, not commercial or medically. In 60 other countries, it is approved as an antidepressant, but not in America. And the reason they didn't approve it, the FDA, is the dangerous side effects. So the withdrawal is very similar to opioids. You have depression, insomnia, agitation, chills, restless leg, diarrhea, fever, sickness. But apparently what makes this worse is the withdrawal is really bad. Users report it's worse than heroin, worse than fentanyl, worse than OxyContin. But also there's a thing in opioid withdrawal where you can you feel all these effects and you feel god awful, but you can kind of curl up in your bed. You got the chills, you're sweating, you got diarrhea, you feel like absolute hell, but you can kind of just like curl up for a couple hours at a time. Apparently with Zaza, gas station dope, you have this incessant agitation that's even worse than opioid withdrawal constantly. So you have all those symptoms, yet you're like shaking and moving and can't stop going around. So it makes it worse because it's just on your brain the whole time. At least for me and a lot of people I've talked to during opioid withdrawal, we just like sat in a corner for hours at a time on the bed. And you know, you'd have to get up and throw up and change your sheets from the sweat and blah, you know. But this, you just can't sit still. You're just moving. And it makes it terrible. It also sets in very quick. In certain states, tineptine is banned already. They've caught on. States like Tennessee, Alabama, and Ohio have banned it. There is legislation pending in other states right now to ban it. A lot of politicians are catching on. This is typically a good thing with something dangerous like this, but unfortunately, the companies find a million ways around it. All they got to do is tweak one little piece of one tiny chemical of a secondary product in the pill, and they'll repackage it and sell it. And then many people will start selling it on the black market anyway. But there is legislation pending to ban this in multiple states, as it is already in 3. Zaza is not a safe alternative to heroin. Or to get off it or a substitute. You got to be very careful. We have no idea what's being mixed in it. People get hooked very quickly with kind of offshoot side effects. In Alabama alone, there was a whole handful of emergency room visits related directly to Zaza, with people kind of losing it. Again, this is an antidepressant in other countries that is meant for people to take 1 or 2 pills a day max. Here, people are taking 15, 18, 20. If I took 15, 18, 20 pills of an antidepressant, I'd be out of my mind going nuts. So there's a lot of emergency room visits related to that. It is not a safe alternative. I don't recommend people using it. So I said before, I think I took this once. I was in Maryland, in Baltimore when I was still dope sick, and the guy I was with, the guy and his wife, we were driving around and he stopped at a gas station and he bought some pills. And he said they're like pep pills, like, you know, truckers used to do when they were big in the 70s and 80s, basically like caffeine pills. And he's like, but it was something new we'd never seen before, something different. And we were all dope sick and we were waiting, and it was just this terrible situation. But I remember we ate I think I ate 4, if I'm not mistaken. And I remember like a half hour later that my withdrawal went it went down big time. Now, I'd been in withdrawal before and taken, you know, benzos and taken caffeine and taken a million other things where it gives you a little boost, but it doesn't help any of the main withdrawal symptoms. This did. That's why I think it was Zaza. I'm not sure. I have no idea, no way to prove it. It was also over a decade ago, so I don't even know if it was around then, but it makes sense that it could be. Anyway, this is an incredibly dangerous substance. Don't use it as a substitute. Be very careful. If you guys like Soberdogs videos, yeah, I appreciate it if you comment, share the videos, hit that subscribe, of course, and that like button. You guys are the best. Love the Soberdogs crew. Thank you, everyone. I'm out. See ya.